Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a pretty well-known brewery that has never been featured on this channel before. Now, for those in the know, you probably know why I've not featured anything from Magic Rock in the past, and that is because their previous owner had some sketchy history. I'm talking about a business, not an individual, and I'm not going to get into it because, well, if I say the wrong thing, then that would be bad because it would be a lie. But anyway, there were some questions around the organisation that owned Magic Rock previously, and I felt best just to not get into it. But anyway, they've been bought out again, which means we can now feature them, and more importantly, well, we've had a lot of expensive beer on the channel recently, and this is quite the opposite. That's right, this was the lowly sum of £2 from Marks and Spencer's, believe it or not, the relatively upmarket supermarket. They've got a load, heaps of craft beer in at just £2 a can at the minute. I assume it's a sell-off to do new stock, I don't know, but anyway, if it's still on, go and grab some because there's got to be something decent in there, even if it's not all fantastic. And well, I thought, what good a time to try something from a brewery I've not had anything from for a long time. I said I've not featured it on the channel. I have had one or two of their beers in the past, but it was a long time ago, and to be honest, I don't really remember what they were like. So anyway, this is called Kinesis. It's a New England IPA, 6.5%. That's all the right words, to be honest. And a New England IPA, 6.5%, that is on the nose. Beautiful looking can. I mean, all the Magic Rock stuff is kind of like this, but yeah, very nice, kind of almost Art Deco style. Heaps of info on the back, which we'll get into later. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright then, it was quite lively on the pour, so definitely not all of it in the glass on the first try. Visually, it's quite pale, but it's very, very hazy, thick. What's that, 2.5, nearly 3 finger foamy white head on it. It looks to business. I thought there was some sediment in there then, but actually no, it wasn't. It's a bit carbonation. Seems to be fairly carbonated, if I'm honest. The only thing I'd say is, for a New England, it's maybe just a touch pale. I think on camera it's probably coming across okay, but here in person it's maybe a little bit on the kind of, yeah, lemony side, which I don't know. I feel like a New England should just be that bit richer. But then again, this was a £2 supermarket buy, so we're not expecting the world here. Okay, aroma time. No questions asked. It smells like a New England IPA. It's fresh, big, tropical, sweet, lemon, grapefruit, pineapple, mango. Just a big old fruit mix, really. It's super fruity, as I say. There is a bit of kind of slightly dank, resiny green hop to it, but it's kind of the lower end as you would expect from a New England style. And I feel like I can pick out just the tiniest hint of a nice sweet malt backbone, but it is very, very subtle. So I'm not expecting much in that department. But otherwise, as described, really, I'm got so far no complaints. So let's get into it. Cheers. Well. It's not the best thing ever, but from a brewery that, to be honest, historically I've not been very bothered about, and a lot of others have said, a bit hit and miss at best. M&S, their beer selection generally lets down, to be honest. Even their bespoke brewed for by good breweries, I know Arbor's got some stuff in there and so on. Even they tend to be a little bit below the mark. £2 a can. Absolute bargain in today's age, to be honest. It's difficult out there. £2 for a can of 6.5% craft is, even at a supermarket point, pretty cheap these days. And with all that in mind, that's a very good New England IPA. That's all I can really say. It's not especially good in any particular way. It's not got heaps of downfalls either. Might be a bit thin, but what can you do? Interesting. It's dynamic. It's got vibrancy. It's good beer. Right then, let's top this up, and then we'll do a quick top to bottom taste test. Okay, now I've topped that up. There are a few bits of sediment floating around in the bottom of the glass. You can probably see if I do that. Pretty normal, especially in this style these days. I know I've drank hundreds of beers with it. Part of me still would prefer it wasn't there. I don't know why. I like the cloudy, I like the thick, I like the, but I don't know, I don't want to be chewing my beer. Maybe I'm just old school, I don't know. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? So, initially, kind of light, sweet lemon, and not quite mild, but certainly not intensive, just kind of average carbonation on the front of the tongue, really. That goes into a distinct kind of citrus bitterness. The lemon continues, it becomes a bit more proper, hints of grapefruit start to creep in. And then on the mid phase, it's much the same, but you start to get a few subtle green, hoppy, resinous. Do excuse the helicopter flying above my house. Slightly dank, earthy tones. They're not intense, they're just creeping in and they're bringing that very traditional US influence bitterness along with it. That goes into a big sweet crash right at the back of the tongue. It kind of wipes away all of that bitterness that preceded it, and you get sweeter citrus notes, orange, some pineapple, mango. Once that washes away though, you're left with this kind of slightly more pronounced, slightly more, I don't want to necessarily keep using the word dank because it's not quite that, well, mossy, if that makes sense. It's just this, it's very much halfway between dank and piney, if that makes any sense on the scale. It's a bit rich, it's a bit too dull to be that piney note you get in a lot of West Coast IPAs, but it's maybe not as intense and oily as you would expect from a properly dank beer. It's balanced well, to be fair, and then the aftertaste, that continues again, but you're left with just some nice, mild, kind of almost sweet orange, clementine. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable New England IPA. Right then, let's take a quick look at the can. So on the front, Kinesis New England IPA from Magic Rock Brewing, 6.5%, 440ml can. At the top of the can on the back, it says, if you can read that, think magic, drink magic. Nice little tagline. It says, find more magic at magicrockbrewing.com. It says, brewed and canned in the UK. It's vegan friendly. It contains barley, oats and wheat. Presumably some other things too. But yeah, that's interesting. In the malt bill, there's barley, oats and wheat. So that's probably to be expected. It explains a lot of the visual. 2.9 UK units in this can. That's it. It doesn't give you a whole lot more, to be honest. It's a pretty basic can. There's not, you know, tells you they're based in Huddersfield. This one for £2 a can that you can go down the road to your local M&S and pick up right now. It's a thumbs up. I was very tentative. I nearly didn't buy this. I thought it's probably going to be no good. Proved me wrong. Not bad at all, that one. And that really is all I've got to say about it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you would be so kind. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.